That's right. Bruno Mars, just as we know, has just walked in with a $50 million debt. Yeah, that's right, you guys. Breaking news from, oh my gosh, there's so many. And it looks like News Nation comes out with Bruno Mars allegedly racked up an enormous $50 million in gambling debt in Las Vegas, specifically MGM. Mars has been performing residence in Las Vegas almost nonstop since 2006 after signing a multi-year partnership with MGM Resort. And through News Nation, MGM basically now owns him with this $50 million debt. And as also a source allegedly told the outlet that MGM basically owns him. He makes $90 million a year off the deal he did with the casino, but then he has to pay his debt back. And it just is so interesting that we've got people like Dre, we've got people like Cody from Exposed influencing with these guys, Aiden Ross going in with a lot of various YouTubers and artists. And now we have Bruno Mars getting into debt. Bruno Mars has allegedly been an avid gambler since his teens, and his years once spoke about his early days playing cards. I used to be like a loudmouth. You know the guy. People would want to take this money. If you don't get them to lose, then you're out of it. Then you're out for you. They're gunning for you, Mars said at the time, and that's why they are weak. And that's when you jump or pounce on them. He also claims that he was 19 the first time he visited a casino. I remember my first bet. My hand was shaking. A guy called me out, and it was embarrassing for me. You got to lose. You just have to lose to win, to understand. Now, remember, this article comes out from, I think it's News Nation, and you're definitely more than welcome to look into it. The residency has attended more than 1,200 people and grossed more than 53 million, becoming the highest grossing MGM concert residency. And Bruno Mars is a great entertainer, but this is what happens. He said he started gambling when he was 18. And you're like, Scott, 21 in Vegas. Well, remember, there are some places around like California and some Indian casinos, you only have to be 18. And once you start getting the itch, and just for myself and, with my story, I gambled when I was really early and young. And I think I played up until I was about 22, and I would just mainly play poker and $40. I think that was the biggest thing for me was I would have a set limit. And, there were times I'd pull out a little bit more here and there, but I think $80 was as much as I was go. But $53 million. Holy smokes. What are they smoking out there? The ganja? Oh my gosh. And the worst part is that Bruno Mars is pretty much a prisoner with MGM now. And he is going to have to find his way out of this problem. So fans have reacted to this, and they are not surprised. One fan said Bruno Mars having $53 million in gambling debts lets me know that his next album is going to be a classic, real degenerate. And I think that is just so perfect right there. Another user commented, Bruno Mars is in debt with MGM Casino for $50 million. My God, gambling addiction does not play, but also sounds like it is time for his Vegas residency. Oh my gosh. I mean, can you only imagine? And this one's coming up from Wrap Up here, guys, from all these sources that I'm reading from. Another fan from Silk Sonic member said, I worry critically thinking is dead because you're really thinking a casino is going to let you let a single individual run up $50 million in debt. A fan responded, yes, actually they would. You could have a line of credit with the casino, as we see constantly all the time, with Dana White, Aiden Ross, we got Steve Will Do It, all these guys that are, which are essentially just taking out loans, right? Like loan sharks, if you will. The casino is the loan shark. And unfortunately, they have to meet the terms. I feel like I'm watching like Goodfellas or, some Martin Scorsese movie. But this is happening more and more often. And the biggest reason is because of these streamers that are gambling hundreds of thousands of dollars per hand. And I think there was a video about a week ago where Aiden Ross lost $3 million in about 10 minutes. And it is astonishing, just the money that these guys are throwing around, just like what Steve will do when he's gambling with Dana White, and they're doing, $20,000, $30,000 hands. And the worst part is that I don't think they realize the detriment that they will be owned by those casinos, especially if they are in the line of work that they're doing, such as Bruno Mars doing concerts. And now he's pretty much working for them instead of working for himself. And I am worried. And the main reason why I'm bringing this up is I'm really worried about not only the national credit card debt that's coming up within our own nation, but the fact that we have a lot of these streamers and early aged gamblers that are really putting they're really sinking in. And I say this because growing up and watching like Phil Hellmuth, Chris Moneymaker, a bunch of these guys that are like professional poker players, for instance, they always talk about the good times, but there's a lot of bad times, and there's always that one story that, you might have taken in a run. But like for Chris Moneymaker, who won the World Series of Poker one year, was $1 million. Dude, he probably spent that within like 20 minutes or, an hour. So just because that money comes in, it might be covering debts that are already owed. Because, again, to that statement, it's like you think you can win, but you're not. The house always wins, and that's why we always say we are degenerates and we don't need to gamble, because it's, unless you have a strategy and you stick to it and you actually are up, then play it. But if you're just running to rack up $50 million in debt, I think that's a sign to stop. So Bruno, we're looking out for you. We're hoping things work out, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see more and more things like this, like with Aiden Ross, with Cody from Exposed. Like a lot of these guys, we're gonna see that maybe Pragmatic, those guys are gonna start owning them because they are in debt, endeavorature, whatever that word is, that they will have to. It's like almost being like in an internment camp. I know I can't say that, but anyway, let me know what you guys think. This is pretty interesting and crazy. So watch out. We're gonna have one here with Mr. Handpay. We'll see you guys in the next video.